Before we touch down more than beyond Neptune, I would like to ask, why was Pluto removed?
Oh gosh, Pluto. So Pluto was considered a planet until what, 2003, I want to say, approximately?
Something like that.
Something like that. Maybe, anyway, it doesn't matter. Maybe 2006. It's one of those two dates. But the reason why it's not considered a planet anymore, it's still considered a dwarf planet. But around that time, we started to discover other objects that were of a similar size to Pluto, but there was a lot of them. And they're all in this like region called the Kuiper Belt, which is very, very far away. It's just past the orbit of Neptune. And you could start to find like all these little like Pluto-like objects. Now Pluto's still, I believe, the biggest of all of those, or at least the second biggest. There's another one called Eris, which is about the same size. But we started to find all these objects in that area, and we're like, oh, this is actually a debris field called the Kuiper Belt. And so this is just leftover material, essentially, from the formation of the solar system. And just to give you an idea, like, none of these objects are very big. Like, we have, the Earth, we have Jupiter, which is like, you could fit 1,000 Earths inside of Jupiter. You could
1,000 Earths.
Yeah. Pluto is like this little guy who's probably, it's definitely smaller than the moon. And, it's not a large object at all. It's only a couple hundred kilometers across. It's very, very small. And so we started to discover all these objects. And so we're like, we're gonna now have to either include all these objects as planets, or start to classify Pluto and these other similar objects as something else. And so instead of making school kids learn like 50 planets, we decided to demote Pluto into a dwarf planet. And so now the definition of a planet is something that is large enough to be spherical in shape, because its gravity pulls it into a sphere. It's something that goes around the sun, and it is also something that has cleared its orbit. So it's something where, there are no other objects, essentially, of a similar size in the same path as it around the sun.